Okay, this is the start of a project. Um, there's a heat pump, the large whole house heat pump. It's an Amana that's up there in gray. And for the last few winters, it has gotten covered in ice. And you can see it sticks out past the roof line. So I'm going to pull the sheet metal off and see if I can attach a box of some sort that'll make it easier to keep ice and snow off of it. It's not so bad with snow, but a couple of times we've had it ice up and it only ices up half of the fan, so that doesn't work at all. You become aware of a big thumping noise and you have to shut it off. Well, I've gotten all the screws out that are holding the top in place and was able to lift it back and then peel this one edge off. And what I've learned so far is that I can't drill any holes in the top because the coil, this fancy aluminum thing, goes right up underneath it. But under this outside edge here, right where the radius is, I've got at least an inch before you get into anything important. So if I'm going to attach something to it, I think I've got to do it there. Well, I've just put it all back together. I decided that it was probably better to work separately from this and just build a framework around it. It was quite a trick to get all the pieces back under. It's like working on a jack-in-the-box, but I used a ratchet strap. And if you're going now we've moved on. I've decided to put in posts spaced out from each corner about 13 inches. I think that'll be a nice size. And I'm trying to get it so it's pretty square. I've got a plumb bob there hanging down. And then over these, I'm going to put 2-inch plastic water pipe and then with fittings to connect it so I can hold something up over the top of this. Today I went from the 4 steel posts and I went into Home Depot and bought some 2-inch Schedule 40 water pipe and cut the pieces on the chop saw. I've assembled them with some T's and elbows and used a 4-foot level with an extension to figure out how long the legs should be. And then I'm putting them together with some number 8 by 5/8 self-threading, self-tapping screws, and they go in about like this. And that way I figure I can take it apart because I'm just about guaranteed that I'll want to change the shape or something will happen. These say they're 5/8 of an inch. They really ought to measure them differently. There's about 3/8 of an inch of thread, and then you've got the drill point. But I think they're just right in this case. Okay. I decided a piece of tarp that I already had was pretty good, and so I got that and some elastic rope and a bunch of other rope and assembled it like this. This is what it looks like from underneath. Not quite as sleek, but I think it'll be all right. And anyway, I think this is what we'll try this winter. Okay, I'm putting the final touch on the last line. I've got a bowline down at the bottom, a piece of this water pipe covering it in case I come out here some night with a flashlight. And then I like to keep them tight, I like to make a lineman's loop. So you get one coil and then a second coil, so it looks like a figure 8. And then you take the outside one, bend it over, and stick it through the middle. I've seen YouTube videos where people are showing how to do that, and it looks very complicated and involves all your fingers, but anyway, that's how I like to do it. don't know whether you can see it, but anyway. And then you take the free end, come through, pull on it until you like how tight it is. And that's sort of iffy because everything about this is kind of flexible. And then tie a couple of half hitches. And that ought to do it. It's fairly rigid, and I think it's a big improvement. One of the main things is to make sure that the fan blowing air, it won't be affected. And I think it fits that criteria. I don't think it's really going to be a problem for the fan. And this should help a lot with ice and things like that. And it may even help with summer sun if we've got the air conditioner going. All right, thanks.